Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm glad to have with me today Connie Smith and LaTanya Brown with the Family Connections, what I always refer to y'all with. But first of all, I know y'all are very busy, and we're actually taping this on a Monday, and we're all very busy today, aren't we? So we all got together. But first of all, thank y'all for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
A lot going on at Family Connection. First thing, one of the main reasons I want to talk today is this teen maze. And you think of a teen maze, I think of a corn maze, you know, that everybody advertises during the year, but this has nothing to do with that. But ladies, tell me where did this idea come from and what is it?
Okay, we started Teen Maze about 3 years ago. It is a life-size interactive game per se that kids advance through based on the choices that they make in life. However, during the maze, they won't get to make their own choice. They have to pull it out of a bag. And it starts out with their first date. They decide on whether or not they're going to have sex on their first date, if they're going to drink and drive on their date. And then from there, based on those choices, they advance through their maze. Some of them end up pregnant. Some of them end up with STDs. Some of them escaped that first time. But the whole point of it is to get kids thinking about the choices that they make and let them know that there are consequences for every choice that they make, whether it be a positive or a negative consequence.
Yes.
There are choices that there are consequences based on those choices. We focus on eighth grade students, and initially it starts out when they first get there, they go to a crash scene, and they find out what actually happens when you drink and drive, or what could potentially happen when you drink and drive. And Mr. Don Bryan and his team and all are out there, and they actually show what happens when they come across a crash scene. And it's
surreal. Yeah,
it's very surreal. It gets kids thinking.
Well, and that's what, obviously that's the goal here. And LaTanya, you know, if we plan ahead for those situations, whether it's for drugs or sex or whatever, if we have a plan up front, it's a lot easier to handle at that moment. But if we wait to the last minute, the wrong decision, usually, even in adults now, it's not all kids, but even as adults, if we don't have a plan of action. But and that's probably one of the best things, LaTanya, knowing they have that plan.
Exactly. I think so. To prep them before that time comes, to get them, you know, active, or even just give them an idea of what can happen if you don't have a plan, or what can happen if you decide just to do what you're persuaded to do by your peers. I often say I wish they had a teen maze when I was in school.
Yeah, because I think back at some of the dumb decisions, and if we're honest with ourselves, some of the dumb decisions I made.
Yes.
Of course, back in the 60s and 70s, there was no Mothers Against Drunk Driving and things like this that brought awareness to it. And there wasn't near as many cars on the road, but it was still dangerous.
Right. And also that topic of sex and having sex, it wasn't a topic that was just openly talked about with parents and children, you know. So I thought that when that Teen Maze came about, it was just an awesome way to get that awareness.
And to me, all the decisions, but drinking and driving is suicide, you know, and it's not. I'm not really worried about hurting myself, but if we kill somebody else, if we took a life of someone else, and I'm sure Don and them show that, don't they, Connie?
They do. They do. Once we leave the crash scene, there's some kids that go to the emergency room, and they actually see what happens when someone from that crash is being brought into the emergency room, and that gets them thinking. And at each station, we have people there who are actually educating these kids on the decision, talking about the different stations that there are. At the end of that emergency room scene where they lose the person on the table, the teens who are doing it talk to those 8th grade students about what has happened. In the maze, when you go to the date station, someone is there to educate them on thinking about the choices that they're going to make when the time comes for them to make that, you know, go on that first date. So it's not that they're just picking out a choice and just keep going on. People are at those stations educating these kids. We had our volunteer training last week, and I told my volunteers, use that time to display some wisdom on these kids. Let them know about the choices that they're making, because we have some older retired people who would be doing some volunteer work out there at the maze. So I told them, use that time to talk to those kids, because they may not get that chance again to talk to them, and you just never know who you might can help just by educating them, sharing that wisdom.
That's right. And we talk about I was talking about my mistakes. Going through them at the time, you didn't realize how you could help people in the future.
Right.
And by us sharing those things and saying,
Right.
look, I've been there. Just because we're old fogies now don't mean, we've always been that way. We've been young people. And it hadn't been that long ago, we don't remember. But I know y'all been doing this 3 years. LaTanya, what have you learned in those 3 years?
Oh God, so much.
We need another show.
I mean, yeah, but really, there's been so much, because I went through the maze with several of the students, and some of the, just like with the date one, I've learned that in life we have choices. In that maze, you don't have a choice of what you're going to get. You're pulling that out of the bag. And had I been faced with that before pulling that out of those bags, my choices probably wouldn't have been some of the right choices. I probably would have gone through some of the same stuff that's in that maze, and had to deal with some of those consequences. As far as in some cases there was STDs, where there was HIV, going to that funeral home, having to see your actual face in that casket. It's just been a real moment. And every year I learn something different from it.
They're pulling something out of the bag, but real life, those things are jumping out of the bag.
Right.
And they're there before we know it.
Right.
Going back to our personal experience. And of course, this is only one thing that Family Connection does, Connie, but tell our viewers, what is Family Connection?
Family Connection is the community's collaborative, and we're made up of different agencies in the community who serve children and families, state agencies, our county and city government, school boards, and our job is to come together as a group and see what's working in our community. We look at benchmarks as far as our teen pregnancy rate, the high school graduation rate, the truancy rate. We look at low birth weight. We look at the illiteracy rate. There are like 42 different indicators on the Kids Count database. We don't look at all 42, but we do skim over them. But we try to pick out those that are really prevalent here in Lawrence County, and that the rates are alarming. And we look at those and see what programs do we have in place right now to target those issues, if those programs are working, and if not, what can we do to enhance those programs? If we don't have anything in the community targeting those, what can we bring to the community to target those issues?
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back and talk about some specific problems that we have in our community right now. Stay with us.
Everybody loves Mom, and now is your chance to let Mom know just how much you appreciate her by entering her in the TV35 Mom and Me Selfie Contest. All you have to do is like the TV35's Facebook page and add your Mom and Me selfie for your chance to win Mom great prizes, including dinner for 4 at Dino's, a $100 surprise gift box from the Exchange, a set of beautiful hanging baskets from Highway 80 Roadside Market, an award-winning cake complete with your Mom and Me selfie from Williamson's Bakery, and much, much more. Winners will be drawn May 8th, so like the TV35 Facebook page, add your Mom and Me selfie, and show Mom just how much you love and appreciate her. Happy Mother's Day from all of us at TV35. Glazed and chocolate-covered donuts, cheese straws, brownies, and bonbons too. Pettifer's pies and pastries made just for you. Wedding cakes, birthday cakes, and cookie trays custom made for your special day. Williamson's Bakery is conveniently located at 1634 Veterans Boulevard in the Oaks Shopping Center. Open Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Williamson's Bakery, baking everyday specials since 1965.
Welcome back, everybody. I have with me Connie Smith and LaTanya Brown, and we've been talking about Family Connection, the teen maze, and other things. But ladies, bullying has always happened.
Yeah.
It's always been around, but it seems like it's been in the news, and some specific things have happened that none of us like.
Right.
when it's gotten this serious in our schools, what do y'all tell parents, and what do you tell kids? How can you help us today when it comes to bullying?
I tell kids, if something is going on at school, always find an adult, regardless of what it is. Find an adult and tell it. But you have kids who are afraid to tell, scared that they're snitching. But I still encourage them to tell.
Right.
I also tell parents, follow up. If the kids come home telling you something has happened, you follow up with the school, because sometimes the school is unaware
Absolutely.
of what's going on because kids don't tell. And so if a child comes home and tell the parent may be thinking, okay, the school knows, so what the school going to do? When in reality, the school may not know anything about it. Mm-hmm. So I tell the parents, if your child comes home with something, especially day after day, follow up with the school and see if the school is aware of it. Right. But it goes back to also communicating with the school, being involved in your child's education. Mm-hmm. We can't just send our kids to school thinking that the school is the one that's going to do it all. We as parents have to be involved in our child's education. Go to the schools. See what's going on. You're allowed to go into the schools and see what's going on.
Absolutely. We were talking off camera a while ago about homelessness. In the city schools, I know there's over 400 children that are classified homeless. Why is this, and what can we do as a community to help, LaTanya?
I think we're in those some of those lower economical times. We have families living with families, 2 and 3 families living together, and that classifies as homeless. Most times when we think about homelessness, we think about the people that are under the bridges or people that are sleeping in the boxes. Jobs. Is a big part of why our children, I know, are homeless, because parents just can't afford to pay that rent anymore. And our eviction rates are going up, and that's causing our homelessness to go up and those multiple families to have to be together.
And it's affecting grades. It has to, because
Yes.
without, those are some key contributors, I would think, Connie.
Right.
Without a stable home, no matter how much grandma or their aunt is trying to help in the situation, still that kid lays down every night knowing, they don't have a stable home or nourishment. I saw one school in Union County, Georgia, who is serving breakfast all throughout the day. If you want to go between classes and have breakfast, during the day, or get something to eat, because we can't work, we can't learn if we, if our stomachs growl and we're hungry.
Right.
But what does Family Connection do to get all these parties together to try to solve some of these problems?
We look at, we talk about the issues and try to see how we can work together. We work closely with the Dublin City School as well as the Lawrence County Schools and their homeless liaison. We offer the after-school program. It's for all kids, and we definitely want our kids who are in that homeless program in there too. We offer snacks.
Right.
During the summer, we give them, they get the breakfast, lunch, and afternoon snack too, because like you said, sometimes those kids don't get that. Mm-hmm. And so we're just trying to look at different ways that we can capture these kids who are homeless and see what kind of programs we can have in place for them.
Right.
So you're getting them nutritional things, so they're not living, in the summer, that's where people fall through the cracks,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and they're not living off potato chips and cookies and and things that,
That's right.
there's nothing wrong with that, but you need a nutritious meal
Right.
to grow and to be healthy. So it's good to know that we have an agency like that. What made y'all get involved with Family Connection?
Well, I started with Family Connection back in 2000.
Way back then?
Way back then. And so I just kind of stuck with it. We started our after-school program 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it just has been going strong. We've been getting funding from Department of Human Services, their DFACS after-school care program. And thank the Lord, that has been very helpful, and we've been able to keep it going. We have a small population with our after-school program. We target 30 kids so that we can keep it small and do that one-on-one. I think right now we're serving 45 kids on there. Not all 45 come every day, but we try to keep it small, and we try to make sure that we have adults and those
Right.
chaperones in place to do little small groups with those kids.
So it's more individual.
Right. And what all do y'all do in that program, Latanya?
All right, with the after-school program, the biggest thing is the STEAM, that's science, technology, engineering, and math. We offer healthy snacks in the afternoons. There's so many things. We offer athletic camps, homework assistance, tutoring, project assistance, project-based learning. There's a host of things. It's always different, but those are the main components of it.
Yeah,
We
Tanya's
want our-
working with them now and doing a STEAM project for a
Right.
conference we have to go to. You want to tell me?
Yeah, we're getting ready to go to a STEAM conference in July, and what that project is that for our middle and high schoolers are to come up with the component, the project in which we could present when we go. And this year we started out with our crocheting with the guys and girls to make crafts that could be that they could actually profit from later on. And this week there's a second part to it where we're actually building the homes and things from the wood and sticks that we'll have to be able to present in front of the governor. And
Good. So
things.
basically, the after-school program is well-rounded.
It
it's
is.
not
Yes.
just one particular thing. And when you mentioned crocheting, we need to lay all that out for the kids. Well, first of all, crocheting, if you stick with something on a task, that's what it would teach me right away. Somebody can't crochet and give up early on it. So, but they're learning things they don't realize they're learning.
Right.
How to stay with a project and never give up.
Right.
What about another thing y'all help with is teen pregnancy? We touched a little bit about that, but are you meeting with some of these young ladies one-on-one? Or are you meeting in groups? How are we helping with that?
Well, I have, with some of with our older ones, because right now we don't have a big amount. I think with Healthy Start is working with a lot of it. But now, me personally, some of the students that I worked with in the local schools have come back, and I try to talk with them on that, give them that one-on-one advice, and help them to do things as far as filling out their FAFSA and things like that to get them back on the right track and to going in school and things to prevent that from happening again.
Boy, Healthy Start, what a great program that is.
Yes.
I never understood it, and I think most people in our community does not understand what we have available. But that Healthy Start program,
That's
look
awesome,
what it's done for young women and men, not just
Right.
young
That's right.
women. But look what it's doing for the children to teach them these things, to raise a healthy child, and have resources to
Right.
go to and call on. We got a great group of people at Healthy Start, and I'm glad to hear that you're working closely with them. What about school dropout?
Ooh, God, that's a big one too.
Yeah.
But we work with our partners. Communities and Schools is one of our good partners as well. Trying to make sure that we keep programs in place. One of the things, go back to the teen pregnancy, we're getting ready to partner with Communities and Schools and doing an abstinence class over at our after-school care program to try to target that.
Yes.
With the dropout rate, we're just trying to make sure kids understand the importance of education. With the age where they can drop out, we kind of got our hands tied a little bit, but we try to talk to them about education. And we do apprenticeship over at our after-school program too. So we hope that when they find out about a different career that they would like to go in, and we talk to them about what it takes to get into that career, that will help motivate them to stay in school.
And what about drugs? Drugs is destroying our country. It's destroying our community. What do kids say about that?
You have some that, because of all the media that's out now with all of the songs, it's making them, I was listening to a song the other day and it had something about Molly, and I didn't realize it was saying that because of the beat to it. You could just move your head and then you start listening. But then there are a lot of the children that are doing it now, they think it's cool because this rapper said that or this artist said that. Wow. So they're thinking, oh, if he does it or if she does it, then it's cool for us to do it. But that's not to say all children are doing it, because we talk about it often in our program, about drug prevention or anti-drugs, to try to deter them, to keep them from going that route. But as you said earlier, who's to say, when what the outcome is going to be
Yeah.
of that.
And it don't matter. I've had people tell me, "Oh, it wouldn't never happen in my home." I don't care how much money you got and what kind of house you live in.
Yeah.
Drugs is affecting every economic
Everybody.
status throughout, and you're fooling yourself if you think otherwise.
Right, and it's not just street drugs anymore. You know, you
No.
think about that big thing with the prescription drugs now.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
heroin. I was with the sheriff and Stan Wright this past week. I was shocked at heroin, something from way back, when.
it's come back.
Heroin has come back and it's cheap. And it's like this meth that's going around everywhere. It's so cheap. Marijuana is just way down. Because when we were growing up, marijuana was the thing. Now, marijuana is way down the list because these other things are so cheap. And this Molly that you mentioned, I hear that term. I still don't know what it is, and but I hear it's a very dangerous drug.
That's
for
all I
kids
know.
to take. And if the rapper or the football star or the whoever says it, hey, they make it cool, don't they?
You're right.
Okay, ladies, we got to take another break, and we're going to come back and wrap things up in just a moment.
Do you love lighting up a child's eyes, helping people feel safe, or changing the way someone feels about themselves? Oconee Fall Line Technical College offers programs that can turn your passion into a career in 2 years or less. With flexible class scheduling, financial aid and grants, in a caring environment, there's no reason you can't do what you love every day. Get ready. Your career starts here at OFTC.
Why did we design a lawn tractor that delivers strength, comfort, and the industry's leading warranty? Why did we make our machines to be as versatile as possible? Because the reason you do all of this is so you can do more of this. This is Strongsville, where lawns come to life. Experience Cub Cadet Strong with the XT Enduro Series. Find the right model in your nearest retailer at cubcadet.com.
So come see Glenn Register or any of his friendly staff today at Hometown Supply. Call 272-0345.
Welcome back, everybody. I still have with me LaTanya Brown and Connie Smith with Family Connection. And before we close, ladies, this Teen Maze, I'm going to have to come out and watch some of this.
Please do.
Is that a problem?
Please do.
We'll put you to work.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, and I'll be glad to. What a great program. If it saves one life,
Just
Right.
one.
just one life, it's worth us sitting here on this set
Definitely.
for 30 minutes talking about it. And you mentioned earlier, Connie, LaTanya, 8th graders, right? That's
Yes.
all over the county and
Twigs and Johnson.
Twiggs and Johnson. Boy, y'all got your work, and it looks like I got my work cut out for me.
Yes,
So,
sir.
But it's a great program, and I heard one of our city councilmen, or I actually read this on Facebook. They had something during spring break, but nobody had it for the children, but nobody came. Well, and I always hear on the other side, oh, there's never nothing to do. Well, then you have people like Gary Johnson or Benny Jones or whoever, which was the ones involved in this, that try to do something for the kids. The parents don't support it,
Right.
so the kids are not going to come. But we have got to, as parents or people like me, that my kids are grown, they're all my children.
That's right.
And either we're going to build more prisons or we're going to educate them and we're going to teach them what's right from wrong. And I don't condone it, but I understand if a 15-year-old kid drops out from school and next thing you know, they're robbing me at my house. No, I'm not condoning it, but I understand because they're going to live somehow
Right.
and provide their own income, whether it's criminal behavior or not. But so it's wonderful y'all do this. And the dates on the maze is?
May 2nd through the 4th.
Okay.
And we'll have a run through on May 1st.
Yes, we'll have
May
a run
1st.
through on May 1st around 6 o'clock for anybody that want to come and watch. We'll be setting up that day as well. May 2nd, we're going to have Dublin 8th graders and Johnson County 8th graders. And then Wednesday, we got to have West Lawrence by themselves.
Yeah, I bet.
And then, of course, Thursday, we will have East Lawrence 8th grade and Twiggs County 8th grade.
Good.
But we still in need of volunteers. Volunteers. We can't say that enough.
Okay.
Because it takes a lot of work to put on a team maze. It takes a lot of cooperation to put it on. So
How do they contact you to volunteer?
478-353-8364.
Okay, and we're going to put that number on the screen there for you. We're going to leave it up a few minutes. Call that number. If you're watching this program during the daytime, just pick up the phone right now and call one of the ladies. Every time I call, you have the nicest voices on the end of that phone over there. So, and let's end on that. You have a wonderful staff, don't you, Connie?
We do. I do. Tanya, she's a lifeline.
Yeah.
She does a lot of work over there. She's a true lifeline.
I can
and
tell.
She has that passion for those kids too. So,
Amen.
yeah, we have great volunteers as well over there. So we're grateful to have those.
Okay, and you heard the number, and that was 353-8364 also. That's what it is. That's the number. You can ask for either one of these ladies or whoever answers the phone. That's
Yes,
all you gotta
yes.
do. Anybody will help, won't they?
Yes,
They
and
will.
we have a sign up over there. They're waiting and ready.
LaTanya, Connie, thank y'all so much for what you do.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you very much. This is so important to our community, and
Very much.
and like I said when we started, I know you're busy today, but thank you for taking the time to talk with me.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we want to thank you for joining us today.